2008, the asset growth, the net new money and client acquisition growth at UBS between 2000 and 2007-8 was, the whole industry was on a boom, but UBS was just astonishing.
Right.
And at that time, looking at the bank as an outsider, it was a revolving door of new clients coming in and also hiring. And what were those clients doing? It was the era of structured product.
Yes.
So as alternative investments, both Credit Suisse and UBS and Deutsche Bank and the others, but especially those two, structured product was being sold for client portfolios, and the clients slapped it up, and
yes,
and we know what happened to that story.
Yes,
right?
It didn't end well.
The same thing happened with respect to hedge funds, right?
Yeah.
So these two alternative investments, were quite rich in terms of their fee remuneration to both the institution and the units and the bankers. Those dried up dramatically. Structured product came back into vogue, but certainly not with the same velocity that it had before. And the hedge fund industry is still recuperating from the debacle. What used to be very popular in the early 2000s, it was very difficult to get clients to buy into hedge funds after what happened. And then at the higher levels, especially for a bank like UBS or Credit Suisse or Julius Baer, but especially UBS, because of the fact that it, as a percentage among banks, it has a significantly higher number of ultra-high net worth individuals who, in terms of their pricing power, to use your expression,
yes,
are quasi-institutional.
Yes.
Right? So for them to pay double layers of fees, be it for hedge fund, be it for fund of funds, the appellation fund became anathema in the industry. So there has been a significant erosion of alternative investment revenues. Those clients that were interested in the equity markets reduced their activities, and you had the concomitant growth of client interest in exchange traded funds, and
Yes.
the lower or so you can get a very strong argument. Sorry?
Is this sort of a clearly there's been some secular shift towards passive products. I think that's indisputable. But I'm just wondering whether that shift has enjoyed a cyclical boost because of what's been going on with markets themselves. When stock markets are very strong, it's and low volatility for that matter, it's pretty hard to do much better than owning a Vanguard ETF on the S&P. You're going to get an amazing Sharpe ratio and a really fat return, and it's going to cost you 5 bips or 10 bips or something like that. And so that makes it very difficult for a private banker to make the argument that you should be invested in this hedge fund that is going to produce you worse returns with even lower volatility, but the volatility in the S&P is so low you don't care about it. So I'm just wondering whether the market environment has actually made the revenue environment actually in some ways more difficult, because it makes it more difficult to argue that you should have you should have a meaningful exposure to alternatives.